Hello and welcome to Section 3 of the American Pageant, Chapter 39 for the stalemated 70s. Today we're going to look at Watergate. Oh boy, I know you've heard of it. It's thrown around. It's the biggest scandal in presidential history. It's probably never been explained what's going on. And actually, it's a little bit dirty in terms of the names. Like if you wrote a script with all this stuff and Watergate and the scandal and used these character names, it would be rejected. For the simple fact alone, Watergate's legacy comes to this day for the gate suffix. Now we put it on the end of any scandal. In fact, here's a list of scandals that have gate from 1972 to now. In arts and entertainment, we have Burning Sun Gate, Celeb Gate, Closet Gate, Donut Gate, Donut Gate, Dorito Gate, Drive Gate, Flake Gate, Gamer Gate, I can't even say that one. Wow. Mandragate, Nipplegate, or Boobgate, or Wardrobe Malfunction Gate, Nudegate, Penisgate, Portraitgate, Saxgate, Tomatogate. In journalism and academics, you have Choppergate, you have ClimateGate, Elevatorgate, FacebookGate, Fredogate, Hackgate, Mediagate, Rathergate, Reutersgate, Steakgate, Ubergate. In politics, we have Angolagate, Beachgate, Bebe-gate, Betsy-gate, Bigot-gate, Billy-gate, Bingo-gate, Biscuit-gate, Blabber-gate, Blobby-gate, Bonus-gate, Bridge-gate, Brothel-gate, Bulio-gate, Cable-gate, Cash-gate, Camilla-gate, Choi Soon-sil-gate, Chopper-gate 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, that sounds like bad movies on Sci-Fi Channel, China-gate, Coin-gate, Colgate, Corn-gate, Colgate, not the toothpaste. Dasuki Gate, Debate Gate, Donny Gate, Dildo Gate. Oh my goodness! Dissertation Gate, Duna Gate, Elbow Gate, Emil Gate, Erdo Gate, Facelift Gate, Fala Gate, Fajita Gate. That's probably one of my favorites. Fan Gate, Fart Gate. Oh boy, Finger Gate, File Gate, Gaia Gate, Gargle Gate, Gate Gate, Gate Gate. Oh boy. Gloria Gate, Grange Gate, Gular Gate, Gupta Gate, Hale Gate, Hair Gate, Hawaii Gate, Ibiza Gate, Ice Cream Gate, Iraq Gate, Iran Gate, Iris Gate, Kazakh Gate, Korea Gate, Leak Gate, Lunica Gate, Mammy Gate, Memo Gate, Monica Gate. Hey, I haven't heard of that one. Mulder Gate, Nama Gate, 90 Gate, 1, 2, Nene Gate, Nice Gate, Office Gate, Panama Gate, Panty Gate, Pardon Gate, Pasta Gate, Patsy Gate, Pemex Gate, Penelope Gate, Petro Gate, Pickle Gate, Pig Gate, Ponytail Gate, Porn Gate, Pussy Gate, oops, sorry about that one, Railgate, Rinka Gate, Robo Gate, Russia Gate, Rhyming Gate, Salmon Gate, Sharpie Gate, Shithole Gate, language on this one, Stormhole Gate, Stripper Gate, 1, 2, Swing Gate, Tool Gate, Toll Gate, Taxi Gate, Telegram Gate, Train Gate, Travel Gate, Trooper Gate 1, 2, and 3, Trouser Gate, Tuna Gate, Ukraine Gate, Ute Gate, Wampum Gate, Watergate, hey, heard of Watergate, Water Conquering Gate, Wiener Gate, and that's all I'm going to do. We're going to stop that. There's also Spygate and sports and a bunch. Just skip 2 minutes ahead. Sorry. All right. So in the last video, we talked about Richard Nixon was paranoid. He wasn't going to win re-election. He had lost in the closest presidential election in 1960. He only won in 1968 by 500,000 votes. And so he was kind of really nervous that he was going to lose. So they employed some kind of shady people in the Nixon administration. They were called plumbers. Their job was to stop leaks of information that could hurt the president. And so on June 17th, 1972, trying to gain an advantage, members of the Nixon campaign were arrested for breaking into the Democratic National Headquarters to plant listening bugs, not cockroaches and, mosquitoes. This was all at the Watergate complex. Here's the Watergate complex here. See the nice, beautiful, modern 1970s architecture or 60s architecture. So this is why it's called the Watergate scandal. It's a third-rate burglary. It's not even on page 1 of the newspapers. It's in the back of the Washington Post. 5 plumbers were arrested in connection with this. And then eventually, through investigation, G. Gordon Liddy, who had a talk show later, and then E. Howard Hunt were arrested for they were the ones who paid them. They were connected to the Nixon campaign, and this is where it starts to unravel. This in itself would not bring down the presidency. It's Nixon trying to cover it up and then lying through his teeth left and right, trying to, distract from the cover-up. And so the White House denied any involvement in this, little burglary. Years ago, I went to D.C. and we were crossing the Potomac. We stayed in Virginia. We're going over to Georgetown to explore a very touristy area. And I stopped to take this picture on the Potomac of the Washington Monument. And then I went, oh, hey, there's Watergate. It's still there. This is it right there on the Potomac River. So the investigation, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, they published articles connecting Nixon to the break-in. They had an informant on the inside who was giving them inside information, telling them to follow the money. There's a movie, there's a book about it called All the President's Men. They worked for the Washington Post. The informant did not give out his name. The only name they gave and who they cited their source was Deep Throat. Yeah, I know. This one is definitely not made for kids. It was an adult film that was out in the 70s that became this mainstream hit that people across the country, like regular people that didn't usually watch adult films, were going, have you seen Deep Throat? We got to go see Deep Throat. That's beside the point. Years later, on his deathbed, most people had guessed correctly that it was William Mark Felt Sr. He was second in charge of the CIA. One of the burglars admitted on trial to being ordered to plead guilty and basically to shut up, remain silent by the White House aides. So the scandal begins to unravel. Because of these articles, the Senate votes to investigate in 1973. They're getting information from the second in command of the CIA. They're publishing these articles. One of the guys had basically an order from the White House to basically plead guilty and be quiet. And so Sam Ervin, pictured here, chairs this investigation of Richard Nixon, which is going to be the Watergate scandal. Nixon, to show that, he's going to get to the bottom of this, shook up his staff. I'm going to take care of this. I'm Richard Nixon. He fired John Dean and forced Hadelman and Ehrlichman, two of his aides, to resign. So if you fire people, there's nothing left to protect you. You got fired, and so that's not good for Nixon. He also appointed a special prosecutor. I'm going to make sure we get to the bottom of this. I'm going to appoint a special prosecutor to take down the people at the center of this Watergate scandal. His name was Archibald Cox. Later, John Dean, who had fired by Richard Nixon, testified that Nixon himself ordered to cover it up, that he was knowledgeable of this break-in, and he was the one that said, you know what, take care of it, make it go away. Don't connect it to us. Cover it up. Later testimony revealed that Nixon had a secret taping system in the Oval Office that recorded every single conversation. It automatically kicked on when anyone spoke, and it recorded every conversation. So if you're Richard Nixon and you're innocent, you give up the tapes and go, hey, look, here you go. Nixon refused to give up these tapes, claiming it was a matter of national security, and he had executive privilege. Now, the reason he had those tapes was to write a memoir. And so Archibald Cox, who was hired by Nixon, and Sam Ervin demand the tapes. And if you're innocent, you're like, sure. But he said, there's matters of national security on those tapes. You can't hear them. He cites executive privilege. And so at this point, most people know Nixon's probably guilty. He's like the little kid who, does number 2 in his diaper and it stinks and everyone can smell it. And nobody wants to, the kid doesn't want to admit it, but everyone can, everyone knows who did it. And the kid's like, I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? That's Nixon at this point. Here's Law and Order Man. Remember, he ran on the platform of Law and Order in 1968 with his break-ins, his plumbers, and his Watergate tapes. So Cox requests a court order to get the tapes. Nixon told his attorney general to fire Cox. And they're like, the attorney general is the lawyer for the United States. And they're going, you hired him. I want you to fire Archibald Cox. Fire him. He's a terrible person. And so Elliot Richardson, the head of the attorney general, the head of the Justice Department, resigns. So Nixon goes to the assistant, the deputy attorney general, William Ruckelshaus, and that's a name, Ruckelshaus. He resigns as well. Nixon goes down the line at the Justice Department, finding someone to fire Archibald Cox. Finally, he finds some, fourth, fifth person in charge, and they fired the special prosecutor. The press, after all these resignations and this firing, dubbed this the Saturday Night Massacre, which leads to public protests. It looks like Nixon's coming unraveled. It looks like he's surely guilty. Meanwhile, in a totally separate case, Vice President Spiro Agnew, pictured here, resigned and went to jail because he took bribes as the governor of Maryland. And so it looks like this whole administration is full of crooks. Nixon then appoints the Speaker of the House, Gerald Ford, as the vice president. And it's during this that Nixon gives his very famous speech. Here you go.
I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I could say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. President.
So if you read body language, he's angry, he's standoffish, he doesn't like this, and so the body language says that he is a crook. You are a crook, Richard Nixon. So the crisis deepens. The new prosecutor, Leon Jaworski, who sounds like he should be a quarterback for, like, the Philadelphia Eagles or something, was appointed. The House began considering impeachment articles. Should the president be impeached in connection with this whole thing? In April 1974, Nixon releases transcripts of the tapes. Here you go. You can read about it. They're heavily edited. And people are like, there's whole sections missing. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Later, he releases the tapes, and there's sections of the tape missing. Like, what happened here? Oh, it must have malfunctioned. I don't know. Technology. Those Japanese don't know what they're doing when they make tape recorders. He continues to defy the Supreme Court orders until the Supreme Court finally rules, give us the tapes. Give them up on July 24th. The House at that point adopts 3 articles of impeachment to be voted on and approved by the entire House. Nixon finally gives up the tapes on August 5th, in which it is clear that he ordered the covered up. Whatever you got to do, take care of it. I don't care. Don't make sure it doesn't get back to us. Personally was involved. And so a couple days later, you get this. We'll skip to the very end.
Presidency effective. I shall resign. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
So Nixon resigns on August 8th, 1974. He's the only president in U.S. history to ever resign. So he resigns before they impeach him. So they were going to impeach. The House didn't get the chance to vote on the articles of impeachment. So he resigns. The Vice President Ford, who was the Speaker of the House, the guy who was elected to a 2-year term from Michigan, is suddenly President of the United States. Gerald Ford takes over. Nixon leaves via helicopter and gives his very famous Nixon daw. Watergate did a couple things. It proved the system of checks and balances worked. Nixon thought he was above the law. He tried to skirt the law. They tried to manipulate things, and they bent it and they broke the law, and he was caught, and he was punished for it. He lost his job. It did damage the public's faith in the government and the Republican Party, especially on the heels of the Vietnam War and the Vietnam scandal and the credibility gap. This is a low point in American history in terms of trust for the American government. If you get a chance, check out the PBS 1-minute series on Richard Nixon. That's all I have for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Watergate can be confusing, so hope you learned something.